So we're going to bring, and Marcus, thank you.
Thanks,
I don't know if you want to
Marcus.
hang out for this or if you want to go, if you got somewhere to be.
Um, I've got nowhere to be.
Right.
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm in the only place I can be.
So we're going to bring on our very own Adriana Cotero, who's coming back from, she took leave to go visit her family in the States. And obviously you knew that you were going to get quarantined. So we just wanted to bring you on and play a little catch up. Where are you at, Adriana?
Hi guys, I am at Dusit Thani. It's on what was previously the Outrigger side. So that's where they placed me. I returned back from my trip home to Michigan on Saturday evening. So that was at around, I think my plane landed at 8:35. And then upon arrival, they give you that voluntary letter. I didn't receive a copy of my rights right then. I received them Sunday night here. So I know that, I was covering that court case yesterday and following along that. So I even had called the attorney and I asked her for the decision and order, and she had mentioned that she handed it over to me and then she saw where I was at. And she was like, oh, so you're at a quarantine facility. So I started talking to Attorney Azuzu just about me being here as well. But in the decision and order, they said everyone by Monday at 4:30 has to have that. So they ended up giving it to me Sunday. So everyone else that is in a GovGuam facility should have that. But I was listening to Marcus here explain his story, and of course mine is a lot different because I'm here at this, 5-star hotel and I'm not paying for a thing. And I actually almost feel like it's a little bit unnecessary for me to be here.
Don't hate Marcus.
Considering I've already had COVID. And, when I had COVID, I was allowed to do home quarantine at the time, but now I have to do quarantine here. So I had asked public health if there was a way I could do home quarantine. I don't know if they need me to do an antibody test or what have you, but they're looking into it and they'll let me know, they said. But I've kind of asked since I landed along the way what the protocol was. And they said that at first I had to be here. And then I don't think they've had a situation where someone has already, maybe they haven't, because no one's been able to give me an actual answer on it.
Yeah, and I think it's just unfortunate because I feel like had you guys arrived a few days earlier, maybe not in your case, but in Marcus's case, I mean, you guys are really, and I want to quote what Dr. Manglutnia says loosely, that we're following COVID's lead. So these changes in the quarantine policy were made because we're in the middle of a second surge, right? And they felt like, oh, with all these rising positives and, the deaths and the community spread, that they really, again, felt the need, like we just got to throw everyone in there for 14 days and that's that.
I think that went into effect, though, when we went into PCOR 1, which was almost, a month ago.
Okay.
But I just kind of, if Marcus is a returning Guam resident, then you would think that he would go to the...
Especially with a negative test, right?
Well, he had 4.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're on the same page. So Marcus just messaged me. He never received his rights, but I think maybe is that because you're on the DOD side? I wonder. We can bring him on. You can, unmute yourself, Mark. Look at where I'm all like, Mark.
No, hey man, we're old buddies now. No, I guess I think I'm just like I'm the forgotten about stepchild over here.
So you didn't get your rights. You never received your rights. There's never a printout you got that said, hey, this is what we're doing to you.
No, I haven't received any of that clarity. That's that's my chief complaint is I've just been kept in the dark over here. I said this to the Guam Post. It feels like they're going out of their way to keep me in the dark over here. And that's when I decided over the weekend that enough's enough. If I'm not getting any answers, I'm going to go out to at least the public so that they can see kind of the way that they're treating people. And my main goal is hopefully there's somebody that's thinking about traveling home to Guam right now. And I can kind of help sway them. Don't come to Guam right now. Stay home. If you have family back in California that you're staying with, or you're vacationing somewhere, it's probably best that you stay where you are because you don't really, there's no visible guidelines for who gets essential workers approval. There's no visible guidelines who's going to qualify for the quarantine exemption or modifications. So if you're happy where you're at outside of Guam, it's probably safe for you there.
All right. Thank you, Marcus, for that. Adriana, go ahead and close it off here.
I was gonna say, just going off of what Marcus had said. So they had told me whenever I arrived, because I was mentioning, is there any way, since I already tested, I already have had COVID, if I could do a home quarantine, and I kind of thought that I'd be able to. And they said, well, you are actually considered an essential worker through work.
Right.
So you could get a letter, working for KUAM, you could get a letter and you could have it approved by St. Augustine as long as your employer writes it, but you also have to have a negative test. So then they asked me, how long ago I had COVID. I said it was about a month ago. So my test could still come up positive, though, is what they had said. So that's why I'm seeing if possibly I could do an antibody test. And they don't really have an answer. They're looking into that right now to see if that is possible. Because, 14 days is a long time to be here. But I'm going to be, teleworking at home, doing the exact same thing as I would be doing here. However, I just feel like I think this argument's been made as well. Yesterday, I remember Attorney Zuzi saying on the link that this money could be used, for the hospital. I don't need to stay at this hotel every single night and get 3 meals, and I can't even finish these meals. It could be used somewhere else within the government, even the schools. We just heard them talk about the budget. GDOE talking about that. So
Yeah.
Good
I
points.
understand that
Yeah.
travelers have to all quarantine, but if some of us want to opt to quarantine at home, they have my address on record at this point since I was
Right.
isolated before.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how much clout a letter from KUAM would have with public health, because not really, in their favorites club right now.
Yeah.
They're probably like, you're getting an extra 14 days for this.
I know, right?
Thank you, Adriana.
But I do also have a nice view, so I can show that. I like that.
Oh, great.
Let me see. How do I go?
Yeah.
There.
Oh, nice day at the
go
office.
solo,
Oh,
man.
my
Poor
gosh.
you, man. Feeling
So
for
it
you.
can always be worse, right?
Could you imagine if we did our show from there? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it sucks to be you.
Man.
Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you when we see you.
Put some sunset pics in the chat. Thank you, Adriana.
Thanks, Adriana.
Okay, I'll see you,
Bye,
Marcus.
guys.
Thanks,
nice talking to you. See you
Marcus.
guys.
We'll try and get Vera.
Right. She's apparently the lady to get a hold of now. Thank
She's
you
with
guys.
the military buildup office,
She
right?
is, yeah. 9:48. We'll take a short break. We're going to close the show with news next on the link. It's The Breeze, 93.9. Good morning.